London hotel. They want to see him back on stage live. What about everybody else? Jackson's last major concert series was more than a decade ago. Now, at age 50, does the self-proclaimed king of pop still have it? Can he sell seats? Atika Schubert is live outside London's O2 Arena, where Jackson is expected to make an announcement shortly. Atika, what do you see?
Well, he's the biggest entertainer of all time. We'll have to see what he's got to say at today's press conference. He's already drawn quite a number of fans behind me. You can probably see about 200 or so people, some of them dressed up with Michael Jackson jackets, T-shirts, a few signs that say, "We love you for all time." So clearly he still has a fan base here. The question is, what is he going to announce? The rumor is that he may use this opportunity to kick off a series of concerts here in London. Another musician, Prince, did the same last year, making about $20 million from his 20 or so concert appearances here. So there's speculation that Michael Jackson may try to do the same. We won't know for sure, however, until he actually makes the press announcement. We are expecting to see a 3-minute video, which according to organizers will show never-before-seen footage of Michael Jackson, and an announcement by the man himself. We don't know whether or not he will be doing any songs or any sort of performance, but certainly that's what fans that are here today are hoping for, Jonathan.
Atika, while you were talking, we had some live pictures. I just want to go back to them if we can and explain what we've been looking at. This is in fact the scene outside of Jackson's London hotel, and I think you see a bus there. We don't really know. We wonder if that bus is the one that's going to be taking him to the news conference. If in fact we do see him, you can expect a certain amount of bedlam, and that's always fun to watch, so we'll bring it back to you. But Atika Schubert, let's talk about this. Is there, beyond the few hundred people who are gathering on a day like this, is there enough excitement for Michael Jackson now, even after all these years?
You know, apparently there is. It's been several years since his last big concert. His latest albums have not done so well, but he still has a really die-hard fan base, and you can see them. They're out here, they're dressed up in T-shirts and jackets, and what's amazing is that a lot of this crowd is actually a lot younger. I mean, Michael Jackson is 50, and yet a lot of these fans out here are in their teens, some of them even younger. So clearly he still has an appeal with a new generation. Now, the question is, with this, if he does a new series of concerts, is it going to be something new? Is he going to be drawing on his old albums? We don't know yet, but clearly he still has a strong fan base, Jonathan.
There's also, for lack of any better way to put it, the ick factor. He's a strange man, a figure of fun in the London tabloids, the subject of rumor and ridicule just about everywhere in the world.
Well, there is that. I mean, he's been more famous for his court battles and his financial troubles in recent years more than his music. At one point, there was an estimated $200 million in debt, and of course there was his Neverland Ranch, which left him $25 million in debt. So a lot of this could, go off, if there is a concert series, could go to paying off some of that debt. You know, it's interesting to note, in addition to this press conference today, there's actually an auction expected next month in Los Angeles, which will auction off famous Michael Jackson memorabilia, such as the white glove he used to wear, the fedora from the Billie Jean video, various art and artifacts from his Neverland Ranch. That could all raise him several more $1 million, which may help to put Michael Jackson certainly in a more financially secure position, Jonathan.
Atika Schubert in London. We'll come back to you when he gets there. Thanks very much. So is it just about the money? Well, Michael Jackson certainly could do with some. Although Jackson is considered one of the biggest selling artists of all time, and his album Thriller still holds the record for best-selling album ever, Forbes estimates the star's debts, you've heard this number, they stand at $200 million. Jackson has struggled to keep up financially since his empire crumbled after his arrest in 2003 on child molestation charges. He was eventually acquitted, but the damage to his reputation was done. How do you rack up $200 million in debt? Well, the New York Times reported his annual budget back in 1999 included $7.5 million for personal expenses and $5 million just to maintain that Neverland Ranch. Well, how do you feel about this? We'd like to know. For his question of the day, Jim Clancy is asking, can 50-year-old Michael Jackson moonwalk his way back to the top of the pops? Email your thoughts to Clancy at CNN.com. Jim will share some of your responses, maybe even sing a bar or two next hour.
Oh, that I'd like to hear.